All right, we're going to go through the volume worksheet. Number one was a cube or rectangular solid correctly stated, and it has a length. It looks like the length might be this way, but it could be any of the dimensions, and a width of 7 centimeters, height of 6. And to find the volume, we'd multiply all these three. Length times width, figure out how many cubes would fit on the bottom times how many layers of cubes, in this case 6. So 7 times 11 is 77 cubes would fit on the bottom times 6 centimeters high is 462 centimeters cubed. Number 2, it's a cylinder, and it has a height of 14 centimeters, and a diameter of 14 centimeters, and 12 centimeters tall. So to figure out how many cubes fit on the bottom, we figure out that the radius is half of 14, 7. So it'll be a 7 by 7 square. So there'd be 49 cubes that would fit on the on the base, on this square, and it takes pi of those, 3.14 of those, to cover the whole circle, not 4 squares, because that would be over. All this extra would cover the rest of this. So it takes a little over 3 times this to cover the bottom, and then there's 12 layers tall, so we multiply by 12, and we get a volume of 49 times pi times 12. 49 times pi 12. I hit something wrong in there. Okay. 1, 2, 12. 49 pi times 12. 1,847 centimeters cubed, approximately. Okay, number 3. Number 3, it's a pyramid. Has a rectangular base that's 7 by 9. So 7 times 9 is 63 cubes would fit on the base. Now I'm writing centimeter squared because that's how many squares there is here. And so that's also how many cubes could fit on it. Now this pyramid, from the base up, is exactly 15 centimeters. So if it was a box, we'd multiply by 15 centimeters, the box that this pyramid would fit in. But a pyramid goes to a point, can only hold 1/3 of what the box could hold, so we have to divide by 3. Now 3 goes into 63, that's 21, so I'm going to multiply 21 times 15 and find that this pyramid could hold 315 centimeters cubed. 4. So now we have a wedge. And it is 12 here, straight up and down is 8, and 11 this way and 9 this way. But on a wedge, all we need to know is how many fit on the bottom. So it's 12 centimeters times 11 centimeters. That would be how many cubes fit on the bottom. And then if you think about this, if we multiply by the height, which is not the slant here, but the 8 straight up, that would be how many cubes would fit in the box that holds the wedge. But that will be twice as much as we need, because you notice that this piece here, this slab, is the same size as this half, and the piece that would be here is the same as the half of this half. So we divide this by 2. So we got to take 6 times 8, 48 times 11. So 48 times 11, and I'm getting 528 centimeters cubed is how much volume there is in that wedge. Now we're going to go to 5, which is a funky looking cone with a radius of 25 and a height of 16. The height on a cone is always straight up and down. Even though this is slanted, the height would be 16, and that's what we need to know. So the amount that would fit on the bottom, or in this case the top, you just got to think of it upside down, would be, again, we do that circle thing, 25 times 25. That's the square, and it takes pi of them to cover that whole circle. And then for the cylinder that this cone would fit in, we take it times the height of 16 centimeters. But since it goes to a point, it would only hold 1/3 as much, so we divide by 3. So pi and 3 are about the same, so it's going to be about 25 times 25 times 16, but we'll work it out here. Pi times 25 times 25, or 25 squared, times 16 divided by 3, and I get a volume in centimeters cubed of 1047.2, rounded off, centimeters cubed. Okay. So now we're getting into combinations. Number 6, we have a wedge on a box, rectangular solid, 6 and 25. So 6 this way, 25 this way. We need to know how tall it is. Well, over here it says it's also 6, which means that's 6 and 6 and 6. So for the box, it would be 25. 25 times 6 times 6. That's for the box, the rectangular solid. Then we have to do the wedge. Now, if I thought of this wedge like I did up here, I would want to know the height and how much fits on the bottom and do 1/2. A wedge is half. So I got 6 times 6 for the bottom, 6 this way, 6 times this, 6 this way, so 36. And then the height was 4.5. That would be the volume of the box the wedge would fit in. And we have to divide it by 2 because the wedge is only half of the box. And so I get, let's see what I get here. 25 times 6 times 6 is 36, plus 36 divided by 2 is 18 times 4.5, and I get a total of 981 centimeters cubed. Okay, the next one is it looks like a box that has a pyramid on each end of the box. And it says both ends are the same shape. So, it's not even a box, it's a wedge. It's a wedge coming from there. So I would think of this as a box and then just do half. And it happens to be this way 18 and straight up and down 15. So I've got 18 times 15 times, I need to know this length. And for some reason, I didn't tell you that. But I did say this was a right angle, and this is 6 and 8. And if you have a right triangle with two sides are 6 and 8, their Pythagorean theorem works. This side's you may have heard it as a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or leg squared plus leg squared is hypotenuse squared. So you got 6 squared plus 8 squared equals the hypotenuse c squared. 6 squared is 36, 8 squared is 64. 36 plus 64 is 100. So if we take the square root, we get c to be 10. So this weighs 10. So the box would be 18 times 15 times 10, but it's not a box, but a wedge, so we'd have to divide that by 2. And then we'd have to do both pyramids. Now it shows this would be the base of the pyramid, so it'd be 6 times 8, 48, but only half because it's a triangle, not a whole rectangle. So it'd be 6 times 8 divided by 2, that's the base, times the height, and the height it said it was 15. And so those multiplied would be the box this pyramid would fit in, but it goes to a point down here, so it'd be divided by 3. As a pyramid's only a third of the box it would fit in. And there's 2 of them, so then I have to multiply by 2, one on each end. So this 2 would cancel this 2, and 3 would go into 15 5 times. And let's see, I could put 2 into 18 or 10. I'll put it in 18, make it 9. So simplify my math a little bit here. I'm going to do 9 times 10 times 15 is 150. That's how much this is. 1350 plus this is going to be 6 times 8, which is 48 times 5. That's going to be 240. So I get a total of 1590. And these were all didn't say centimeters on this one, and it didn't say it on the last one. So I should have just said cubic units. And this should be cubic units, whatever those numbers are, inches or feet or whatever. That was the last one. So I'm done.